Hey guys, how you doing? It's David with David Reader Books, and I'm drinking Mike's Harder lemonade. Yeah, it's pretty hard. So, yeah, this is David Reader Books, and I just started this blog like a month ago. So, I'm gonna change the branding to be Fantaverse instead of David Reader Books. So, I'm gonna focus as fantasy as a whole rather than just book reviews. So the new website's going to be fantaverse.com, and I'm going to be talking about fantasy as a whole, except instead of just books. So, yeah, so this is the new format. So, what I wanted to talk to you guys today is this is for authors and artists, right? Not so much for people that are just reading, but maybe if maybe you might want to reread some of these public domain ones. So I'm going to go over what public domain is, and I'm going to go over my 5 favorite public domain properties out there. So what is public domain? I've got my notes here, that's what I'm looking. Public domain refers to creative material that is not protected by intellectual laws such as copyright, trademark, or patent laws. While public domain does not protect the individual work of art, it protects them as a collection, right? So even though, just one work by itself or one picture is not protected, but them as a whole, as a collection, they are, right? So that's where the line can be drawn. So there are 4 ways that these works can arrive in public domain. 4 ways. The copyright can expire. The owner has filed to follow the copyright renewal rules. It means that they were bad. And the copyright owner can deliberately dedicate his work to public domain. So you can have someone that just is for lamper pissed and just wants to write something and dedicate it to the world. Good for them. And then the 4th reason would be copyright does not protect the work. So so it could be public domain just because it doesn't fit the right format for for even getting copyright in the first place, right? So your question is, so when does a copyright expire? So this is so you can use it. As of 2019, copyright has expired for all works published in the United States before 1924, January 1st. So what that means is anything that was created before January 1st, 1924, that's all fair game, okay? It is protected under a public domain. So I'm going to go over my 5 favorite public domain works. A few things to keep in mind is that there's a lot more there's so many works in public domain. These are just my favorite ones, and I'll probably go back to this topic later and go over some of the ones that I might have missed and that I learned about, but these 5 are just ones that I'm super familiar with and I think have the most potential. There are so many more, and I probably left out a lot of good ones, but we're not going to go over that today. The next thing I want to state is that a lot of these have been remade by Disney. And so what you got to realize is these works that they're protected by public domain, it is the public domain version and not the Disney version. So all of the Disney versions of the public domain are going to still be protected under copyright. Okay. So let's start off. Okay, this is the fifth. The first ones are my least favorite, and then it gets down to my favorite. So Dracula, super popular, written by Bram Stoker in 1897. You can't deny that Dracula, everyone knows who Dracula is. It's had such a huge impact on our culture. So the 2 characters that are interesting to me, and the characters I know, is obviously Dracula. He's just the king of vampires, right? I mean, that's just the archetype that he is. And Van Helsing is the hunter, and I think Van Helsing is cool. There's been a lot of stuff about Van Helsing. Okay, so that's a popular one. Okay, now we're on to the next one. Actually, I don't like the order. Okay, we'll change the order then. So the next one I would say is the Brothers Grimm. And so these were written in 1812. And these include Hansel and Gretel, Rumpelstiltskin, the Pied Piper, the Frog Prince, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, Rapunzel. Those are all ones that you guys should all know, and you guys know the plots for those. So all of those are in the same work, and they're all public domain, okay? So that's the second one. Third one, this one's got some pretty good ones, is Arabian Nights, translated by Anthony Gallon in 1706. So I was reading about Arabian Nights, and I believe it's transferred from 1001 Arabian Nights and from a different language. I believe it's Arabic or some other language. But this has some really good stuff, and there's a lot of stuff that, if you've done extensive research in Arabian Nights, there's so much content here, especially from something before the 1700s. A lot of good stuff here. One of the stories is Aladdin and his lamp. I just heard of these stories. I don't know the actual stories. I just know the Disney versions, right? There's Ali Baba and the 40 Thieves. That's the one where the term Open Sesame comes from. Yeah, that's from Ali Baba and the 40 Thieves. Sinbad the Sailor. There's a lot of really cool stuff that's been coming out with Sinbad the Sailor. There's even a cool anime that I'm probably going to somewhat talk about. I believe it's called Sinbad, and it's on Netflix, and it's a really cool anime. And there's plenty of others. So that's the third one. Wait, that's the fourth one, right? No, that's the third one. Okay, I got two more. So my next favorite one is The Wizard of Oz. And so the reason why this made it on the list is that there is just so, like, everyone knows The Wizard of Oz, and there's so many. And the reason I chose these five is because these have the best characters, right? They're the most known, and they just have the most versatility. So Wizard of Oz, you have Dorothy, which is kind of lame, right? The wizard himself. You got some really corny ones. You got the Scarecrow, Tin Man, the Cowardly Lion. So those are all pretty funny. They can add humor to whatever you're writing. The Wicked Witch of the West, Glinda, the Good Witch, and Toto, the dog. It's just a lot of really fun stuff. So, yeah, so that's why I like The Wizard of Oz, okay? This is the last one, guys. I'm almost done. So, this is by far my favorite, is Alice in Wonderland, written by Lewis Carroll in 1865. Man, look at that date, 1865. That's a while ago. That's over 100 years ago. My math's correct. And even older than The Wizard of Oz, right? But Alice in Wonderland still passed the test of time over and over again. So many people still use it, and it's had such a big impact on culture, right? Especially because Walt Disney helped with that. So when we're talking about Alice in Wonderland, like I stated at the beginning, these are all protected. This is only talking about the ones in the book by Lewis Carroll, not Disney's Alice in Wonderland. Those are still protected. So the characters are Alice, the Red Queen. I was about to say the Wet Queen. That's gross. White Rabbit, the March Hare, Dodo Bird, and you got some really interesting ones too, right? Some really funny characters. Well, I think the White Rabbit's a funny one. But the Cheshire Cat, that's a crazy character. The caterpillar that's smoking the hookah, and Tweedledum and Tweedledee. Those are all really fun characters. So, yeah, that's my list, guys. And look more into these if you guys are writers or you're artists. Take advantage of them. I'm not telling you to copy people's work, but if you can legally implement these to make your work even more creative, and these already have a backstory, you might as well take advantage of it and make your work even more creative. So, my name's David, like I said, and now it's fantaverse.com. And, I'm probably going to... So this So I'm thinking of deleting the David Reader Books Facebook page and replacing it with the Paintiverse. That's going to be a little bit messy, but hopefully you guys will survive it. So, okay, hey, take it easy, guys. Black cherry. It's a good flavor. Drink it.